NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg summarized how the alliance wanted to bring Kyiv closer to its orbit as a NATO Ukraine council. However, there was no agreement on a new NATO defense plan. On Friday, NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg said that Ukraine approached Western alliance in last decade and called for a framework to ensure future security of Ukraine when war ended. Speaking after a NATO defense ministers meeting in Brussels, Stoltenberg said that the transatlantic alliance members agreed try to create Ukraine-NATO Council, where the status of Ukraine will be equal NATO member states. We all admit that Ukraine is approaching NATO in the last decade, Stoltenberg said. Stoltenberg also insisted that NATO decided to use Russia's tactical nuclear weapons to the neighbor Belarus as seriously and condemned Moscow's dangerous discourse. But we have not seen changes in Russia's nuclear stance. No agreement on the new defense plan. The sources told news agency that ministers could not reach an agreement on first defense plans alliance since end Cold War. And a diplomat said that Turkey has prevented decision geographical positions on statements. Geographical positions, although regional, are not officially approved today. We expect these plans will be part of a series of outputs for the Vilnius summit in July. Regional are not officially approved today. Stoltenberg, NATO allies at the summit of the next month in Lithuania, expects to make a more ambitious commitment, and also Ukraine and NATO will find confident about how we will find confident, he said. Stoltenberg asks NATO members to commit 2% of GDP to the first time in Germany's first target next year. Less than 1/3 of NATO members meet 2 target and express certain concerns such as Italy, Canada and Luxembourg. NATO alliance members discussed the formation of a new NATO-Ukrainian Council where Kyiv would be equal to other allies. USA. The Russians showed the same 5 vehicles 1,000 times at conference. The U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said he encouraged his new Turkish colleague to approve Sweden's participation in alliance. Sweden, which was neutral during Cold War, applied for NATO membership after Russia's full-scale Ukraine invasion in 2022. However, so far, only the Finns have officially participated with application of Sweden by Turkey. Austin asked about losses of equipment provided by NATO to fight in eastern Ukraine. I think Russians showed us same 5 armored vehicles about 1,000 times in 10 different angles. In fact, the Ukrainians still have too many war. Eventually, in the early June, he was blocked by Beijing during an event in Singapore. I am sure this will happen over time. I haven't reached out since Singapore. MFSMS.